Jammu under siege, unpacking the escalating India-Pakistan conflict. Over the past few weeks, the volatile border region of Jammu and Kashmir has once again become the epicenter of escalating tensions between India and Pakistan. What began with a horrific terror attack has spiraled into retaliatory strikes and a dangerous exchange of fire, leaving millions in border cities on high alert. Today, we delve deep into the sequence of events, the accusations flying across the border, and the potential ramifications of this worrying escalation. How did we reach this point, and what are the long-term implications for regional stability? The current crisis appears to have been ignited by a devastating terror attack that occurred on April 22, 2025, in the popular tourist destination of Pahalgam. In a brutal act of violence, 26 innocent tourists tragically lost their lives. India was swift in its condemnation, directly pointing the finger at Pakistan-based terrorist organizations as the perpetrators of this heinous crime. The attack sent shockwaves across the nation and understandably fueled calls for a strong response. To what extent should a nation retaliate after such a devastating terror attack? What are the ethical considerations involved? India's retaliation, Operation Sindoor. In the aftermath of the Pahalgam attack, the Indian government vowed to hold those responsible accountable. True to their word, on May 7, 2025, India announced the execution of Operation Sindoor. This operation involved targeted strikes across the border into Pakistani territory, with India claiming to have successfully neutralized 9 terrorist hideouts. The Indian government asserted that this action was a necessary measure of self-defense against cross-border terrorism and aimed at dismantling the infrastructure supporting these attacks. Was Operation Sindoor a proportionate response? Did it achieve its intended objectives, or did it inadvertently escalate the situation? However, India's retaliatory action was met with a significant and concerning response from Pakistan. On May 8, 2025, the situation took a dramatic turn as Pakistan reportedly launched a series of drone and missile attacks targeting multiple cities within Indian territory. According to reports, as many as 15 cities in the states of Punjab, Jammu and Kashmir, Rajasthan, and Gujarat came under attack. While India claimed to have effectively intercepted and neutralized a majority of these incoming projectiles, the sheer scale and audacity of the attacks were deeply alarming. Residents in border cities, particularly in Jammu, reported hearing the chilling sounds of sirens and explosions, plunging these areas into a state of fear and uncertainty. A blackout was reportedly imposed across several border regions as a precautionary measure. How should the international community view Pakistan's response? Does it constitute a legitimate act of retaliation, or is it a dangerous escalation? The following day, May 9, 2025, brought further reports of continued hostile activity. Unconfirmed sources suggest that Pakistan persisted with its attacks, with drones and missiles reportedly targeting Jammu and potentially other areas once again. While official statements from India reiterated claims of successfully repelling these attacks, the sustained nature of the aggression has undeniably escalated the crisis to a new level. The atmosphere in Jammu and other border regions remains tense, with residents bracing for further developments. What are the psychological impacts on the civilians living in these border regions who are constantly under threat? How can they be supported? Amidst the exchange of fire, a heated war of words has also erupted between the two nations. India has leveled serious accusations against Pakistan, alleging that its military has resorted to using civilian aircraft as shields during their attacks, a blatant violation of international norms and potentially endangering civilian lives. Furthermore, India has accused Pakistan of deliberately targeting religious sites within Indian territory, an act that, if proven true, would be seen as a deeply provocative and inflammatory move aimed at inciting further unrest. Pakistan, on its part, has vehemently denied these accusations, dismissing them as baseless propaganda. Who should the international community believe in this information war? What mechanisms exist to verify such serious allegations? Understanding Pakistan's perspective in this escalating conflict is crucial. While Pakistan denies involvement in the initial Pahalgam attack and describes India's accusations as politically motivated propaganda, several factors may explain their retaliatory actions. Retaliation for Operation Sindoor. Pakistan views India's strikes as an act of aggression and a violation of its sovereignty, vowing to avenge the casualties inflicted during Operation Sindoor. From Pakistan's standpoint, was this a justifiable response to a perceived violation of their territorial integrity? Establishing deterrence. Pakistan aims to deter future Indian strikes and demonstrate its resolve, seeking to establish a balance of power in the region. Can such retaliatory actions truly lead to long-term deterrence, or do they simply perpetuate a cycle of violence? International pressure. Pakistan may be attempting to catalyze international pressure on India to de-escalate, particularly after India's strikes. Is using military force an effective way to garner international diplomatic intervention? Domestic considerations. The Pakistani government faces mounting public pressure to respond forcefully to India's actions. How much do domestic political pressures influence foreign policy decisions in such crises? The current escalation has understandably sparked grave concern among international observers and security analysts. Experts warn that this rapid cycle of attack and retaliation carries a significant risk of spiraling out of control, potentially leading to a broader conflict with devastating consequences for the region. The international community has been quick to urge both India and Pakistan to exercise maximum restraint, de-escalate tensions, and engage in dialogue to find a peaceful resolution to the crisis. However, the immediate path forward remains uncertain. What role should international bodies like the UN play in de-escalating this crisis? What concrete steps can they take? Beyond the geopolitical implications, it's crucial to remember the profound human cost of this escalating conflict. Millions of people living in the border regions are now facing immense fear and uncertainty. The disruption to daily life, the constant threat of attack, and the potential for displacement create a humanitarian crisis that cannot be ignored. The long-term impact on the region's stability and the prospects for peace remain deeply concerning. How can humanitarian aid reach the affected populations? What are the long-term psychological scars of living through such conflict? The situation in Jammu and along the India-Pakistan border is critical and rapidly evolving. The recent surge in violence underscores the urgent need for both nations to step back from the brink and prioritize diplomatic solutions. We will continue to monitor this developing story closely and provide you with further updates as they become available. What do you believe is the most viable path towards de-escalation and lasting peace in the region? Share your perspectives in the comments below. Let's strive for informed and respectful discussion during these challenging times. Jai Hind. Subscribe for more updates on this and other critical global events. Like this video to help spread awareness. Share your thoughts in the comments below.